Flying over British Columbia, one is struck by the wealth of this province's resources. The forests, waterways, and lakes are all immediately visible. But there are other resources not so readily apparent. Rich mineral deposits buried below the surface of the land. In BC, these ore deposits usually contain either base metals, copper, lead, zinc, and molybdenum, or the precious metals, gold or silver, or a combination of base and precious metals. Many of the province's most accessible mineral deposits have already been discovered, often by independent prospectors, and have either been mined out or are being extracted in operating mines. To find new, often deeper and more inaccessible deposits, geologists and prospectors research favorable areas and start searching for clues. The odds they face are staggering. Estimates are that for every 5,000 properties explored, only one will contain a deposit rich enough to mine. So scarce are such deposits that less than 0.1% of BC's landmass is actually mined. Mineral exploration, therefore, requires ongoing access to vast areas of land. Evaluation and re-evaluation is necessary over a number of years. This allows companies to take advantage of new geological models and technology and to respond to increasingly complex land use demands.
Effective mineral exploration starts with a regional geological database provided by the provincial and federal governments. This information enables prospectors and geologists to focus their efforts on areas of high mineral potential. In British Columbia, the Geological Survey Branch provides a variety of services to the mineral industry, including descriptions of known mineral deposits, regional maps, archived company reports, and district offices.
Once a promising area has been selected, the only way to narrow down prospective targets is through careful and systematic field work. In the field, an exploration program is either based out of a nearby town, if road access is possible, or in the case of remote locations, from a base camp serviced by boat, planes, or helicopters. During the initial stages of an exploration program, the field team will likely consist of 1 or 2 field technicians and geologists. Later, as the work intensifies, the team will probably grow to include up to 20 people, sampling and surveying to narrow down a target area. The team searches for visual clues in the rocks which offer direct evidence that ore-forming fluids have been present. These signs include metallic minerals, veins, changes in the color or texture of the rock, and the presence of other minerals of interest. Fieldwork also includes geochemical testing. Samples taken from the soil, collected from stream beds and chipped from rock outcrops, are sent to a lab and chemically analyzed to determine what metals are present and in what quantities they occur. Geophysical surveying is also undertaken to determine properties such as magnetism and electrical conductivity, which provide clues about hidden ore bodies. To protect present and future investments during exploration, especially when results are favorable, it is essential to own the mineral rights to an area. This is done by staking mineral claims. Because the exploration process is still in its early stages, great uncertainty continues to exist as to the exact location of any possible mineral deposit. Claims, therefore, are staked to cover not only the mineralized system, but also a protective area surrounding that system. Government maps showing mineral claims are open to public scrutiny, so staking a property represents the first open declaration by the owners that the property has good mineral potential. A properly staked and recorded claim gives the claim owner the mineral rights to an area for a year, a right that can be maintained by performing approved work on the claim or by paying cash in lieu of that work. Typically, a claim is maintained for up to 5 years as the project workers refine the technical data about an area and any mineral deposits it might contain. A soil sampling program is another common step in this refining process. Soil sampling is done on the basis of a grid laid over the suspected ore system. Stations are marked throughout the grid, and at each station soil samples are taken, described, and sent to the lab for analysis. Grid sampling usually concludes the first season's exploration work on a newly staked property. The field season often lasts only for the summer months, so the pressure is on to gather as much information in this short period as possible. This information is then reviewed, Many claims don't survive the review and are abandoned with little or no environmental impact. But positive trends in the samples justify further work, which generally leads to more detailed sampling through excavating, trenching, or drilling. Excavating and trenching are used to search for unexposed rock within the top few meters of soil and to provide unweathered samples of outcrops. Analysis of these samples helps to find drill targets for core sampling. Drilling is an important sampling method because it provides continuous material in easily calculated volumes. It's also very costly. Hundreds of holes at about $10,000 per hole may be required to outline a single mineral deposit. Millions of dollars are spent to move the project from exploration to development, so only the most promising properties merit the investment. Although most exploration work, including drilling and trenching, occurs in locations far from public view, the entire process is strictly monitored. The governing body is the Ministry of Energy, Mines and Petroleum Resources. They require the submission of a notice of work for any work planned on a claim. This details where and when, as well as how the work is to be performed. And work such as helicopter-supported drilling is only approved after review by other concerned agencies, such as the Ministry of Forests and of the Environment. Representatives from these agencies often work through the Mines Ministry with the exploration project to accommodate land use and environmental concerns. The focus is on minimizing the impact of an exploration program on other land users, such as tourists, guide outfitters, and forest workers, and also to protect the habitat of fish and wildlife in the targeted area. Up to the point of drilling and trenching, the only lasting environmental impact due to exploration work has been caused by the camp itself and the line cutting during the grid work. However, if the exploration continues with excavating, trenching, and drilling, the issue of surface disturbance must be considered. When a company plans any of these more intensive activities, they must submit a reclamation program in addition to their notice of work. This outlines their plans for reclaiming the disturbed land and is accompanied by a bond to ensure that the reclamation work is carried out. Returning the land to as near a natural state as possible can involve such activities as helicopter reseeding and recontouring of drill sites, trenches, and any other surface disturbance. Today's stiffer regulations require that all trenches be reclaimed and revegetated after geological work has been completed. Many exploration groups are finding it more cost-effective to reclaim trenches in the same season in which they were dug. Geologists and exploration companies are increasingly aware of environmental issues and land use concerns. Early consultation is resulting in a more flexible approach to exploration and helping to prevent the kind of long-term damage you see here from happening in environmentally sensitive areas.
From a fish and wildlife perspective, we would like to minimize the surface disturbance and access created by mineral exploration. We can do this by liaison through the Ministry of Mines and Ministry of Environment for where sensitive areas are, and to especially minimize surface activity in sensitive environments such as alpine or in areas where sensitive fish and wildlife habitat or populations exist.
One of the main concerns associated with drilling is road construction. While considerations regarding road grade, drainage, and erosion are standard requirements in all reclamation permits, increased awareness is also leading companies to address such issues as the visual impact of a road and its long-term effect on wildlife. Smaller drills and excavating equipment and the use of all-terrain vehicles has also allowed many companies to avoid road construction altogether or delay it until the latter stages of exploration. Another area of repeated public concern has been the site of the scattered remains of abandoned campsites, particularly in the alpine areas. Today's relocatable structures for temporary campsites provide viable alternatives, especially in areas such as alpine, where there may be heavy snow loads and high winds.
A well-planned exploration program gets the job done with a minimum amount of environmental impact. Because evaluation often requires some surface disturbance for trenches, drill sites, roads, and camps, it's extremely important to budget for reclamation costs. Projects receive approval from the Ministry of Mines after a process of referral to other government agencies, such as forests and environment, and after sufficient reclamation bonding has been established.
Nowadays, with a responsible approach and with the options provided by new technology, exploration has a minimal impact on an area while at the same time offering economic benefits to an entire region. Not only does the exploration industry employ hundreds of geologists and field technicians, but it also introduces broad-based and often unexpected economic spin-offs in a region. The fact of the matter is that our society has developed to a point where minerals and the products produced from them are inextricably tied to our existence. If the exploration and mining industries are to provide society with the ore it needs, then they need to have temporary access to large areas of land. Cooperation and consultation within the industry and between the industry and the public must be the primary focus of the years to come. We must accept joint responsibility for approaching mining and mineral exploration in ways that satisfy both economic and environmental concerns. Only through working together will it be possible to achieve a balanced and far-sighted approach to land use and achieve a future that we all want to share.